Morning, everybody.
Good morning there.
For everybody that doesn't know me, my name's Eric. I'm one of the technicians here. This morning we're going to talk about roof care. How many of y'all have travel trailers? Motorhomes? 8. And 8. All right, there's 3 types of roof. A rubber roof, which is what we have an example of here. And it's probably what most of y'all have. It's an EPD material, and it is rubber. The reason it's rubberized, on these units, you have a lot of expansion and contraction. With the rubber roof, you have to maintain it. With a metal roof also. With a fiberglass roof also. Now, most of the units, I think for time, or why they go with the rubber. The rubber roof's expected to last about 10 to 12 years. They will last longer than that with proper maintenance. Now, the roof is probably the most important thing to maintain. Reason being, expansion, contractions, the sun, UV rays. It just starts cooking the rubber. It'll start getting dry.
Talk a little bit louder.
Okay. It'll get a little bit dry, and it'll start feeling like that. You can kind of pass that around. That is one of the main things you want to stop. Now, to do that, you're going to have to clean the roof. And it needs to be done at least once a year. I would recommend it twice. There's several different products. You've heard of all different kind of ways to clean, what to use. You want to use a soft bristle brush. Something like this. They're available at any hardware stores, and we keep them here. You don't want to use anything like a broom that's real bristly. It is a thin rubber surface. Now, what we like to use here is a Protect kit. It is 2 parts, a cleaner and conditioner. Does a really good job of cleaning it. It also conditions it to keep it pliable and not chalky. When you get around to that, you'll see what I'm talking about, how dry that feels. That roof was about 1.5 years old when it was taken off. So that's just after 1.5 years. This product's easy to apply. This is about $50 for this kit. It'll do a 30-foot unit twice, pretty much, and even maybe a little bit more than that on your UV protector. The first step, I use it about half and half. If your roof's real dirty, you can make it a little stronger. You can even use it straight on stubborn spots. Now, after you've done that and you let it dry thoroughly, come back with the second part of this kit, and that is the UV protectant. That's the most important. And here in a little bit, you can feel this roof and feel the difference. It's got the protectant on it from what you're feeling on that piece of rubber. The sealers on a rubber roof is the next thing you want to check. There's 2 types for the rubber roof, a non-leveling and a leveling. Depends on the purpose that you're doing. When you get up there and check on your roof, and this needs to be done, the factory say every 90 days. You at least need to do it when you put it up for the year and when you get it out. I also recommend you walk the roof after you go to Florida or a long haul. When you're going down the road, you know, it twists. And when things twist, these sealers can gap and open up. And you never know when that's going to happen. That's why the factories recommend every 90 days to walk around and check them. You ask why, if I checked it before I put it up, why do I need to check it in the spring? Well, in the wintertime, these campers swell up. They soak up a lot of water. In the spring, they dry out and they shrink back. You'll notice it in your cabinets after they get a few years on them, especially. Well, when that happens, something's going to give, and it's going to be the sealers, which it's meant to. It never really dries out. It always feels kind of soft. So if you see a crack on that, you would want to use the self-leveling to fill in the crack. The non-leveling for, if you got a bad roof vent or something like that, and you're installing a new piece to go around so your die cord doesn't run off. Metal roof, same theory, except for you use a product called Flow Seal. It's made for the metal roofs. You probably have a metal roof on yours, I would say. Fiberglass roofs, a product called Alpha, they all work the same way. You do have a metal roof though. Flow Seal is called Flow Seal, and it really flows. It's a little runnier than most products you're used to coming out of the tube like this. After you check all that, make sure all the cracks are filled, the roof should be good to go for a whole year. In between, for cleaning, spick and span works great. You can also use this again. It's pretty cheap. Like I say, it's only $50, and this will do it twice. Now, if your roof is an older roof, and y'all felt that roof, how chalky it's getting, if you leave it untreated, it'll start doing what's called crow feet. It'll look like little crow's feet split in the rubber. That's when you would go to a rubber roof coating. That's a good product too. It'll give you some more life out of your roof if you have an older unit. Again, if you'll use this and keep that roof checked, there's no reason why you can't get 12 to 15 years out of a roof membrane. Again, on the roof, do not use silicone. We see a lot of them come in where people have repaired with silicone. And you see how well it sticks. There's a few more pieces there, you can pull them off to see for yourself. Silicone does not stick to a rubber roof. Now, have any questions so far?
Now, what is it, exactly what type of rubber roofs are they?
Well, that piece there is called EPD. EPD. This is what they're all using now, everything that we handle.
What about an older camper?
How old?
95.
I wouldn't be able to tell you.
It's got a rubber roof, but it's black. It's not white. It's been painted over.
It could be 2 to 3 different products. I don't know the exact one. The manufacturers from year to year, especially during those times, will change a lot. If it's got a black coating on it, it sounds like
No, it's black rubber, but it's got a white coating over it.
well,
Just like that.
yeah. What you may be seeing is the black coating underneath showing through because your rubber
Okay.
has gotten so thin. We've seen that quite a bit too.
The next
If your
question-
roof's at that stage, it's probably time for a
The other
roof.
question I've got is, like I say, I've seen the kind of roof coating that y'all have. And I've also been to hardware stores where it says rubber roof coating for EPDM rubber. But the difference is, as far as I know, that's why I'm asking you, what is the difference? But like I said, the only difference I see is $20 a gallon cheaper.
Well, that, I don't know the brand of the chemicals or what's in it. This here, I've been here for 3 years and have seen units come in that's been done 4 or 5 years ago. Now, the rubber roof coating, it's meant to extend the life of the roof for a few years. It's not a new roof by any means. Even with a new roof or the rubber roof coating, you really need to keep that checked. Like I say, if you're seeing black through there, your membrane is probably gone.
I don't have any leaks, but it's just spots where it's coming to where
It's just worn through, yeah. It's worn through. The rubber roof coating we carry here, I know is a good product.
Well, I'm not saying it's not, I'm just trying to figure out what the difference is. Like I said, I've seen other roof coatings, like I said, they're just a hardware store, and it says for EPDM roof, rubber roofing, and it's a rubber coating, but like I said, I don't know what the difference is other than the fact it's $20 cheaper a gallon.
Yeah, to other place. Yeah. Well, I can say here about our parts and our stuff here, if you have any issue, and I've seen one issue with this product here, I don't know if it was a bad batch or whatever, but the guy, it wasn't going on right, so he brought it back to us. And Matt got him all new supplies.
Okay.
I don't know how the other stores, I know that.
Well, they're not gonna give you the same,
With here, we try to provide some information, and also, if you got an issue with that part, you got a place to come back to.
yeah, that's what I'm saying, right?
All right.
What about stubborn stains and like tree sap and
I like to
stuff?
use this
use that straight?
Yes, spick and span works really well also. Be sure and use a brush like this
Yes.
and a little bit of elbow grease and it'll come up. This piece here, you notice there's some little blue specks.
Yeah.
Now, some of those you'll never really get all the way out. I don't know if it's because of the black rubber, and some of the chemicals that just come through in some of the spots, but you see that on all of them. You
I
just
have
to
noticed
coat
that.
Yeah.
I didn't know
But
if
it-
that
but
was
it
mildew
will-
or-
It'll clean it up just about like the way this one up here looks.
You said, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Walt.
You said spick and span. How does that react with the UV sealer on
You need to
it?
put protectant on it after. you do it.
Afterwards, okay.
Yeah. It does clean them real well though. But like I say, for the money, I don't know what a jug of spick and span is, but like I say, it's like $48. And that's a lot of cleaner in there, and you can use it straight. I keep some in my bay back there, I keep some in a spray bottle for going around when we do repairs. Well, is there any other questions on the coatings?
How are you applying the UV protection, the pump-up sprayer, or?
No, sir. Actually, the UV protectant, a little cheap sponge mop. Just a little kitchen sponge mop. Little gallon bucket, a little pail about like that, and you just, when you're applying it, just a nice even coat. I take sections about 3 by 3, I guess. I generally start at the front, work my way to the back. You'll notice it when it goes on, it makes a really slick finish. It's kind of got a yellowish tint to it. It'll change the color a little bit, but that's what you want. That's going to take the place of the rubber getting heat away. But the UV protectant, you know, it needs to be. If you use spick and span, go back over it with the UV protectant. That's one another reason why I just use the kit.
Can you use a pressure washer to clean it?
I wouldn't recommend it, but a lot of people do. You know, the different tips that go in the end of the pressure washer, you know, tone that back some. But I wouldn't. I just wet it down, come back with this, and you'll be surprised. And then, of course, once you do that, you need to wash the sides of the camper to get all that stuff off. And it's something made for that. Here we use Crown Boat and Blackstreet cleaner. There's several products. Be sure and get that stuff off the sides when you get through. Yes, sir.
Is there no trouble with walking around the roof too much?
No, not too much. I mean,
I'm
you
always
don't
afraid
want to
to
get up
walk
there
on
with
too
lawn
much.
chairs like you see at races and things like that. You really don't want to do that. But when you're up there, just walk lightly.
I don't walk.
We get on them all the time here. A lot of the techs are a lot bigger than me. And
Try to avoid like the vents and things, getting too close or.
if you do buy an older camper and you're checking it out for the first time, it'll really be easy because you don't know what you're dealing with. And when you're walking up there, you'll get the feel of it. It is plywood. It's about, depending on the brand, 3/8, somewhere right there. So, you know, it's going to give with you when you're walking, but just walk easy and it'll be fine. Unless you find a rotten spot. And most of y'all are not doing what we do on that.
What's a good wear? Can you wear like just with your tennis shoes when you walk around? Or?
Yes, sir. I wear a pair like this right here. When I started here, I had to quit wearing my work boots. Boots in a camper kind of kick the wall and knock a little hole in them. But any kind of tennis shoes. When the morning dew is on one, if you're sitting outside, it's kind of slick, you know, when the morning dew's on there, especially if you have a metal roof. So be careful about that. Any other questions? Let me see what we got. All right, roof repairs. Have any of y'all had to do any roof repairs? Anything on this roof has camper putty underneath it. The stuff you see squishing out of the side corners on most campers that pushes in, every piece up there is going to have that underneath it. And then, of course, the Dicor on top of it. You're going to see the sun probably eat this cap away over time, and you may have already replaced them. The caps are also available separately, so you don't have to go into a full repair anymore. There's something else for the roof I like to keep around. It's called extreme tape. If you go to a camp spot and you get a little close to a limb or a tree, you peel back the side, and it happens a lot. This is a great thing to have. Even if you pop a hole in the side of the camper, this is gonna stop the water from coming in until you can get a proper repair. It's nice to keep a roller list with you. You never know when something's gonna happen, and there's a couple different brands of that available. Dealing with your Dicor, Flow Seal, or whatever, these little tools called a putty buddy. Those are handy to have. Throw it in your drawer in the camper and keep one. It's also great for around your windows, your corners, and things like that. It won't scratch your finish, and it won't dig through the rubber. Roof vents. Everybody has roof vents.
Barry,
Yes, ma'am.
could you go back through that tool again, because we couldn't really hear you very well over here?
A putty buddy
Oh, okay.
is what this is called. It's for working with the Dicor or the sealants on the campers. It won't scratch the finish. Like I'm saying, it won't poke a hole through.
Okay.
Every camper should have one of these. That's probably one of your most important tools right there. Because if you check your roof regularly, you're gonna find spots. I guarantee that.
So you're giving those away today?
We don't have it. I have begged him I have begged Matt for 3 months. I even asked Craig this week about getting some in the store. So we should, hopefully we're gonna be getting some.
If you find a small crack on the top, you know, where is it best to dig that crack out a little bit before you put some sealant in there? Or just go over the crack and say,
Well, if it's just a crack where it's split up,
just from time
just
to
use
time?
the self-leveling and let it fall in there, and it will. It'll go where it needs to go. If you're getting into some crow's footing of the Dicor, where it's got deep cracks and a lot of them, dig it out.
Dig it all out.
You can figure after about 8 years, somewhere in that area, maybe less if you go to Arizona or Vegas or someplace like that, depending on the sun again, that you'll have to do what's called a peel and seal, which is to dig all that Dicor out and apply new. Because the sun will eventually just bake it to where it's hard. This, getting applied over the Dicor is gonna help a ton though. And a peel and seal is no fun. It's not brain surgery, it's just time consuming, digging all that out. But if it's a split, just use a self-leveling.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Any other questions on that? Yes, sir.
With the various coating and cleaning chemicals, I would have to do that on my driveway. Is there an issue with the concrete driveway?
No, sir. Well, you're gonna wash your driveway down, but no, I've not seen any damage from that. We have painted concrete floors in the shop and outside bare concrete. I've not seen any damage from any of the chemicals. And we tried a few different ones, you know, to come up with what we like to use and we know that works, because I don't want a customer coming back. And roofs are a touchy thing. Even a brand new roof, you know, you just bought a new camper, it's got a 10 or 12-year warranty on it. The roof does. Those sealers don't. 90 days from the day you buy it. Every one of ours has a sticker before you walk in the door, and most of them are coming out like that. That goes again with a roof repair. Even though you've repaired or just had a new roof put on, you still need to check it. Especially getting a new one or applying a whole new rubber roof coating. Check it after it settles in after about 90 days. When we do something like that here, if any of y'all have had that done through us, you know we tell you to bring it back to us in about 6 months and let us walk it. We don't charge anything for that, just to make sure everything is settled in and flowed where it needed to.
You got anything for like wet patches? Like you're out in the woods somewhere and it's raining and your limb hits it and cuts the roof. You got anything that you put on when it's wet out there?
That is called extreme tape, and whatever you put it to, man, you're gonna have a job getting it off. This is some great stuff. Like I said, this is great to have and keep with you in your camper. There is some, this is kind of expensive, but I'll tell you, this works. There is some cheaper brands out there that'll do the same job for you, keeping the water out.
Use that tape and you can paint over it with rubber coating?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is basically almost like this. It's just got a glue backing on it and just a little different type of rubber on it. But that's what I would recommend for that. And again, it is just a roof patch. A patch is not a complete roof. You know, there's always a chance that it'll leak even more right there, you know, especially with the moves and stuff, because, you know, they're not built like a house. If they were, they'd weigh too much, none of us would be able to pull them. So with expansion, contraction, jarring of the roads, twisting and turning, things like that, most of the time you'll see on a travel trailer where the front cap meets the rubber roof, and especially older ones, you've probably seen them bucked up there and stuff. They tend to open up right there. A fifth wheel, where the fifth wheel comes over the truck bed, that's where they tend to open up. I mean, you'll see older fifth wheels a lot of times.
What's the man hours put a rubber roof on, let's say a 30-foot fifth wheel?
30-foot fifth wheel, I don't know about the man hours, but it'll cost you about 150 to 160 a foot. That's for all new rubber roof, new
Right.
sealants. And that would be putting back on all your structure. But at that time, you're probably gonna need new plumbing vents, you might as well get them. They're like $4 or $5 a piece. Most of this stuff is really inexpensive. Except for that page, $3, you know, so while you're doing a repair, it's $3.
Yeah, I had to replace a couple foot.
Yeah, $3. Most of the stuff is really inexpensive. Now, the other thing all of our roofs have is roof vents. Little things you crank up. Every bathroom has one. A lot of bedrooms have them. Some have 3 or 4. I have 4 in my unit. There are 3 different type of hinges for these roof vents. You don't know till you look and see. They don't document which ones are on what unit. Most of them are this style here, which is what they call a curly Q. There's, like I say, the different styles are in the hinges. They're all the same size, but there is different hinges. If you experience some issues with these, and you will, the sun bakes these pretty quick. Probably the first thing to get to go on your roof will be these. They're inexpensive, about $15. Like I say, and the best way is to get on the roof, look at the hinge side, and then you'll know what you need. Don't forget to close them. Those right there, in a year's time, will probably be one of the next big costs of a camper. People leave those up, just forget them, and they park the camper. On the way home from Florida, you lose one going down the road, it blows off, because they will blow off when they get to a point where they're so brittle. And you don't know it, and you're coming on home, you get home, your bedroom's soaked. It would work for them. One way to stop that is with a max air cover. It's made to fit over the roof vents. Some of y'all may have this already. It's made to fit over the roof vents. So while you're going down the road, you can leave the roof vents open. When it's sitting in the yard through the winter, and I've seen this happen a lot, guys, you park it for the winter out behind the barn, behind the shed. You lose the roof vent in a storm. You don't go out there till spring. Your camper's ruined. I see that happen 3 to 4 times a year. Where just all the water runs to the rear or to the front and just ruins the floor. These will stop all those headaches for you. And like I say, running down the road with this on, you can leave these open. So it's pulling circulation when you get to the other end of where you're going. It's not so hot there. The bathroom is great to have one. You know, this I do highly recommend. They're worth every penny, and they're like 20-something bucks. They're cheap, easy to install, very easy to install. I can show you that in a few minutes if you're interested. And that basically is pretty much what is all on the roof. Your AC unit. There's nothing much to do that. You wash that and keep that cover clean just like the rest. Make sure it doesn't have any holes in the AC cover on the roof. No rain will run in there and then run through your ductwork. So keep an eye on that.
Do you have replacement filters for the inside?
Yes, ma'am. We should have them on the shelf. It's you can rinse them out with a water hose.
I've done that.
Yeah, and about 4 or 5 years it's time to get them in.
Yeah, they're due.
Yeah. We should have those like that. Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
What type of product do you use on a metal roof?
Metal roof, you use flow seal. Comes in tube, just like the Dicor does. With the flow seal, like I was saying earlier, this stuff is really running. So if you're gonna use this for your first time, just get a board out or something and put a little bit out, because this is really a lot more running of a product than you realize.
I think I'll bring it in and have it. Caulking is-
We just did the whole front mirrors, didn't we?
Pardon me?
We just did the whole front part, didn't we?
Yeah,
I thought it was in.
so I'll bring it in and have it checked, because it's not pretty when I get a caulking gun.
The blue painter's tape, if you're doing anything, like on the side, you'll see a little strip of Dicor. This little piece right here, you can use blue tape. The painter's tape works great. On a spot like this, I would definitely use the non-sag. Bringing that up, that is an aggravating little spot. And definitely keep an eye on that little edge rail too, right there. A lot of people, a water leak can be from here and the water running down and showing up in the floor in the kitchen. Older motor homes are real bad about that edge. You'll see an old motor home, the sides are just all wavy down below the windows and stuff. That drip rail, I would say, is a culprit.
On your roof, I've seen air bubbles come under. What do you do with them? Just leave them?
Yeah, they're not gonna hurt anything. They're not gonna hurt anything. But where the plywood pieces are laid across the roof, there's actually a little spot that they don't glue, because the wood will expand and contract, just like decking on your home roof, has a gap between. So you will see it kind of buck up sometimes and stretch out. Even on the brand new ones, you'll see that.
Do they paint the roof too, after you seal it and all that? You don't, I've seen some painted this white as a.
Well, that gets back to, this was some kind of product like this if it was painted. Some kind of coating material was applied to it, but it should, if it's a rubber roof, it'll look like this.
Yeah.
Like the gentleman over here was saying, he's bought a camper and he said he's seeing black. That I'm pretty sure is on the back side of it, but this roof right here just needs cleaning and a protecting. If it gets much further than this, like I say, you'll see crow's feet, and you'll actually see cracking in the material. This is made to fill those cracks and kind of even everything out for a little while. And it does a great job.
Which one you talking about? The one in the box or the one in the can?
The one in the can.
Okay.
That's a coating. It's a coating. And that stuff's $52 a can. I think a can to 2 cans generally does most campers. Most travel trailers are going to be around 30 feet or shorter. And how long is yours?
34,
34?
39 foot.
I think 2.
It says 34 on the side, but it's 39 foot overall.
I think 2 will do it. You might have to get into a third one on yours. But if you don't see the cracking in the rubber and stuff, it's not ready for it. And you can bring it up here anytime, and one of the guys, we can look at it for you and see. And if you do have a newer trailer, bringing up warranty, it's a good idea to have it checked once a year by somebody that is a rep for the warranty or certified like we are. Reason being, if you've done your part on the roof and something fails, you want warranty to cover that new roof. Well, you've got that 90-day deal. That warranty says, did you check it every 90 days? Did you check it every 90 days? At least if you got the once a year at the shop, and the guys at the shop say, no, he stays on top of his roof and we even check it, that can help you out in the long run. Like I say, a roof, we were talking earlier, about 150, 160 a foot for a new roof. And the roof is the key to the whole camper. It's as important as a hole is to a boat. If you let it leak, your camper's not going to be around much longer. They just cannot take water damage.
Can we make spring replacement for
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
it?
Yeah. Donnie will be here at 9 o'clock. Go ahead, make appointments on it. I don't know what the weather's gonna do this year, none of us do. This is a very mild winter compared to, yeah, so far, compared to last year. Last year was brutal. But anyway, that pretty much covers everything on the roof. Is there any other questions? Yes, sir.
Eric, what does the temperature need to be above when you do the treatment?
The treatment, at least like 55, something like that. It doesn't have to be, 70 or 80 degrees. It's best to do it in the shade too. It takes longer for the UV to dry in the shade, but you can do it in the sun, if you have to. But I wouldn't, I looked before, it doesn't really say on the product, but I wouldn't want to put it on any colder than say 50.
You're not applying it to metal roofs, are you?
Okay. No, sir. No, so metal roof, you just need to keep it clean.
Okay.
Spick and span works great. See some cracks, you want to use the flow seal. And that'll pretty much take care of that. You can get some UV protectant to apply to the plastic. That'll help some. But most of your plastic pieces up there are really cheap, $2 to $3 a piece, except for that AC cover. And the AC covers, they're designed a little thicker than most of the stuff on the camper. But I do see them dry out and fall apart after a few years also. And like I say, if you do go with the protectant, I think we've got some back there in a spray bottle too. It's just the UV part and the cleaner part you could use on your plastics up there.
What's the approximate coverage on that can up there?
Well, it depends on how bad your roof is. I've done some where I would do 2 coats. I think they say 200 square feet. But like most units, this is going to do about an 18-foot, 16-foot, somewhere in there. So if you're over 20 feet, pick up 2 gallons. If you get over 36, pick up 3.
And what did you say, well, go a brush or a roller or what?
This right here,
Yeah.
this right here is very thick. This will be applied with a roller, just
Okay.
like paint. This is like a thick rubberized paint is what this is, and a brush. To apply this here, I'm a pretty good painter, but I still use that blue tape. Tape off the sides and come back with a brush and cut in your edges and around all of your stuff with a brush and then roll it. And then plan on throwing all that, it'll ruin your roller and stuff, so it's all.
Just a regular roller? Or
Yeah, get the cheapest one you can, half inch, like I say, it'll be ruined when you get done. And it's very easy to apply. Temperature on that though, you kind of need to be around 60 at least.
You say you recommend 2 coats?
Depends on how bad if your roof is.
Well, if it's
that thin, yeah, I'd double coat it. I sure would. And that'll get you by for a long, long time. There are some other roof repair systems. You can go online and look at those. They get into $3,000 or $4,000 versus $5,000 or $6,000.
Yeah, I'm not gonna, that's, like I said, it's an older camper, so I'm not gonna put that much in.
Yeah. That right there should do a real good job for you. Any other questions? On the roof. We'll get everything covered.
Speaking of covering, I cover mine during the winter with a tarp. Is that advisable or?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I call it a bag, but putting a bag on one for the winter is a lot better to me than letting it sit outside. The ideal is having one sitting inside in climate control. That makes a huge difference. But hardly any of us can do that. But the bag does a lot of good. And there's several different types of bags. Some of them have a roof that's built into the bag. That makes a huge difference. Some of them don't. Matt or Craig, back there we have several different grades. But I would recommend one. The only downfall I hear from a few people is on stick and tin. The aluminum sided ones is from the wind, it kind of rubs the paint a little bit. If you go camping, you're going to rub the paint a little bit anyway. That's the way I look at that.
Those bags are a lot better than blue tarps.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Most of them are actually made now where it's even got a zip spot where you can get to your door, and those straps, the systems for them are made a little different, and like I said, they do have some of them have a roof core that's built into it that makes a huge difference.